Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Ferrari Enzo at max in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. Now, I do not have this car as it is a Legend Pass car, and so these races were given to me by Charles XBR. He has applied his epics to max out top speed and acceleration, which in my opinion is the best thing to do if you have a limited number of them. Before we get too far into the video, I'd just like to say I'll be streaming tomorrow on Saturday, June 12th at 4:30 p.m. GMT, so exactly 12 hours after the time this video is posted. I hope to see you there, and also hope to see you over on my new Furum Clips channel, where I'll be uploading some of the very best clips from mostly my streams, but also some funny moments from my videos. And the best part is, all of the clips I upload are submitted by people just like you. I'll be uploading there every single day, so be sure to go check it out if you'd like more information about it. And in the description of every video there is a way for you to submit your own clips. So let's get on to the video. Currently, Charles, or Fritz as I've known him mostly by, and will probably call him throughout the video, is having a very close battle with this Corvette Grand Sport. Now, the Enzo is about 21 miles per hour faster than the Corvette Grand Sport. The Enzo goes around 235 and the Grand Sport goes 214. And so the Enzo, you might wonder why it's not more popular. Well, probably because it's a Legend Pass car and so not as many people have it. The funny thing about this car, I think if I'm remembering correctly, it's the only Legend Pass car to have accidentally had packs for it come out for just anybody who wanted to buy them in the store for like 15 minutes before Gameloft figured it out and instantly got rid of it. I'm not sure if those people were able to keep the car or not. I'm assuming they were, but in any case, something quite interesting about this car. Ever since the Enzo released and I've seen its stats, I've always thought of it as kind of a slower version of the F1 LM that could be used if you have the Legend Pass but not the F1. Because it's 8 miles per hour slower, the F1 LM goes 243, but the rest of its stats are fairly similar. It does not have the best acceleration at only barely above 75, but the handling is decent, the nitro efficiency is quite good, and so overall it looks like a very pleasant car to drive. I have tested it myself in the Golden Max season, which I do have a video up about if you would like to check it out, but as I've said in previous videos, generally speaking, I like to test cars in regular seasons as well, so you can see how they do against just regular old cars that you'd find in multiplayer. Like in this race, there's two Apollo Ns, there's a DBS Superleggera, and there is the Mercedes-Benz SLR, as well as a second Enzo. When this car first came out, I believe it was the best Legend Pass car to have come out at that time, but it has since been overtaken by the Victor in that category, and here Fritz came in a very close second place, tying with the third place person. And speaking of the Victor, I made a video about it a few days ago, so if you would like to see how it performs at max on 4 different tracks, definitely go check that out. There were a few things people brought up in the comments about that video. The first thing was a lot of people saying that it was like the new A-Class King and better than the Imola. It's not better than the Imola from what I could tell. I got better times on I think every single one of those tracks that I tested in the Imola by around a second or two at the largest difference on tracks like Cairo, and not very much difference at all on the shorter and twistier tracks like the Caribbean. But the thing is, if the Imola is able to beat the Victor on almost every track, and I'm pretty sure I drove the cars at a very similar skill level, so that seems to be the case for me, it's pretty much confirmed that the Imola is generally a better car for events at least than the Victor. Now, for multiplayer, I think it could be a different story, and I think this is where the Victor will probably really shine, due to the fact that it is much more stable than the Imola. That is one thing that people were certainly hoping for in this car, and they got it. The Victor is very easy to drive, and so that, tied with the fact that the Imola event was very difficult, and you can pretty much just unlock the Victor right away by buying the Legend Pass, will definitely make the Victor more popular overall in the game, and especially in multiplayer. Here, Fritz again beats an Apollo N. Now, the Apollo N is 5 miles per hour faster at 240 than the Enzo here, and has better acceleration than the Enzo. So because I consider top speed and acceleration to be the two most important traits of a car in most cases, I would generally pick the Apollo N over this car. However, this car's nitro efficiency is definitely better, and in multiplayer that could be quite important. It really comes down to what you prefer, but while I feel like the Apollo N could definitely be a better car in multiplayer and probably in events on a great number of tracks than this car, probably the Enzo will be a more reliable multiplayer car, because oftentimes I felt like the Apollo struggled with maintaining its high top speed because of that low nitro efficiency, and if you don't have the Apollo at max, like say you have it below 3 or 4 stars, it's probably going to be quite unreliable. So that is why I feel like the Enzo, well, not technically as good, could probably be better than the Apollo for a lot of people. In this race, the two players that are right up next to Fritz are an Apollo N and a DBS Superleggera. Now the DBS and the SLR I would consider to be two of the most underrated cars in Class B because they're fast and they're easy to drive and there's not really much just awful about them, and so oftentimes they can do quite well. However, Fritz does manage to pass both of them at the very last second, taking a very close win, but a win nonetheless. With only 1 frame between him and second place and then 2 frames between second and third place. There was also an Apollo IE in that race, but it came in a bit further behind. Now in this race here, there are again 2 Apollo Ns, there is another DBS, and I believe those 2 cars are becoming increasingly popular nowadays as more people are able to get them at high stars, especially the DBS. I've been buying for credits DBS blueprints in the Legend store for a long time now, and I'm getting very close to starring it up again, so who knows, maybe there'll be another video about that coming soon too. Also, speaking of the Legend store, with my trade coins, I have now been buying blueprints for the Terzo, managed to 4-star that after a long time ago, getting it at 3 stars in its special event. I figured it was just about time to start up, and I'm on my way to 5-starring my Regera as well. There are very many cars which I've just been slowly picking away out in the Legend store to star them up higher, because that is one thing I didn't actually do for a long time, and that was kind of crazy. He just used that car as a ramp. Kind of cool. I would probably have gone into it and lost all my speed. But yeah, while I haven't been able to obtain a lot of the new cars that have been added to the game recently, I've only actually been able to get 2 since the D-Class Huracan. Yeah, I have 102 cars now, which obviously is quite good. It's just very, very few of those have actually been recent cars. One of the 2 after that D-Class Huracan is actually the 599XX Evo, which had that really grueling car hunt. So not even a recent special event car or anything like that. But part of that is due to not really spending tokens on much. I mainly did spend tokens on that 599XX Evo to max it out and get it, because I've been wanting that car for a long time, and now I'm beginning to build up my token repository again to be able to hopefully spend them all on some really good car next whenever it comes out. That's why I haven't been able to go for a lot of the other cars, like some of the Grand Prix cars I simply haven't been able to win because I have not been spending tokens to star them up. I've just been saving all my tokens. In my opinion, and I've said this plenty of times, it's a lot more worth it in the long run to not go for all of the cars that aren't kings and are nowhere near kings, and instead to save purely for the ones that will take you very far either in multiplayer or in events, cars that are at the very top of their classes. And I believe the Enzo nearly fits that bill. It isn't the king of its class, I don't think it is king on any track in Class B, however it is definitely one of the best cars in Class B, and so if you bought the Legend Pass for this car, I would say that it was a fairly worthwhile investment, especially a better one than something like the Neo, which in my opinion is probably like the worst Legend Pass car so far because it's at the very bottom of its class. But overall, the Enzo is a very well-rounded car and a good contender, especially for multiplayer in Class B. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to Fritz for these races. Please like the video if you've enjoyed and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!